I'm technically still here. I haven't taken my headset off.
Nice. Hello, everybody, and welcome. That's going to be on the recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 19 Quarterfinals. Taking another look at the Juggling Juggernauts, the Trashboat team, taking on Shep's Clown Car, the avgpeen team. And,
Team ban.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy, still here.
There are a lot of random statements from me at the start of these
10 seconds remaining.
the games this season.
Yeah, you have a habit of talking right when I hit the start recording button for whatever reason.
It's just funny.
But,
the game.
Yeah, last time...
That'll be at the start of the recording.
True. Last time we saw the, we basically saw Medusa 1v5 after a certain amount of time. The Shep's Clown Car lineup just couldn't put her away in time. Let's see what happens this time.
Avenge also did a lot that game.
That is true. That is true.
Radiant team ban.
But then I do also feel like a lot of the Avenger being able to do things was just enabled by the Medusa just being this big black hole of ungodly monstrosity that they couldn't actually fight around. So they just had to, just, like, you know, keep running away while Vengeful Spirit kept throwing softballs at their backs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Either way, it was bad. Let's see what happens this time.
It was pretty bad.
No Ember Spirit is what they're gonna say.
I think Ember was the problem in that game.
No.
Trashboat Ember is pretty good Ember.
It was pretty good, but I mean, I don't think this is a patch where like a good Ember early game is like enough to do the job. It felt like there were fights where he was doing a lot, but it felt like the fights where he was doing a lot were fights where he was not the reason that a lot was happening.
I think if anything, this is the patch where a single Ember Spirit can't just roll over again.
Well, it certainly didn't happen there. In fact, during the time where Ember Spirit was in charge of the game, it didn't look very good. It was just a bad Ember Spirit game, and I think you have to have a good Ember Spirit game for that to be the case.
Yeah, I think that was just a lot of lockdown into an Ember Spirit that hates lockdown.
A lot of quick lockdown, too. The instant silence in the Skywrath, DK bought a quick silence. You got the duel, that's pretty much instant if you can get it. And there were a few times where they got it.
Blink Dagger on DK.
Radiant team ban.
If anything, I feel like it would definitely be, if you're going to comfort ban something that was in the last game, I think it would definitely be the smarter play to knock out the power clockwork. Just because, you know, he spent so much time comparatively on that hero compared to all the other supports he's played basically ever in his life, that, you're definitely, like, the offlane kind of won last game. The LC and the Scare, they kind of won last game, but it didn't look great. I think if you were able to cut off the legs there with Shep's Clown Car, you would be able to have a much nicer lane phase. You would have a much nicer life. Okay, well, nobody's been picking the Dazzle since the patch, except these guys. In this series, it's 100% contested and also 100% first pick. Interesting to see. It didn't feel like it had that much of an impact on the last game. Luke's was playing it pretty well and just didn't really feel like it mattered at all.
I don't know, I've seen a lot of Dazzle recently. I mean, not really in the pro matches, so obviously they don't think it's that good, but I've seen a lot of lower MMR Dazzle.
Silence are coming out in response. Cryptic says, I tried playing Dazzle. I hope we get to see that after the... Oh. Banned both games. Sad. I was going to say, I hope we get to see that next series. We do not get to see that next series. That's what you get.
Well, if you banned it even once, Cryptic, you can't really blame the other team.
It's true.
Radiant team ban.
No Skywrath, says Trashboat. Did not like playing into that. Which I guess makes sense, because it's kind of bad for all his heroes, but also I would be pretty confident it's Haywire Gorilla on the Silencer as well, so I don't know if it was that necessary. You already got that. You already got the instant silence, right? Like... I don't know if I think the Global Silence still does that thing where it has like the second wave of it, so you can't just do like a quick purge anymore.
That's the facet, yeah. I think so. I'm not certain.
We'll see.
Team pick.
Well, they have pretty much unreworked the Silencer. He's like basically back to where he was like 2 years ago. Just completely deworked him, which I don't know if that was very necessary. It certainly made the Ags a lot worse because they gave him his original Ags, and now that doesn't make sense again, so it's useless.
What the?
Where it gives you the Q on your head whenever he casts his ult.
Ah, that one. Yeah.
Which made sense when they changed it back to the one that burns you when you're silenced, and doesn't make any sense now. It's the one that's just paused when you're silenced and doesn't do anything.
Radiant team pick.
Is that
Shadow
a
Shaman.
Medusa or a Shaman?
That would be Shadow Shaman. That's why he said, "I am Shadow Shaman."
I didn't hear that. I just heard the snakes.
Here's a pop quiz for you. What's Silencer's real name?
I used to know this. I don't anymore.
It's Nortrom.
Fuck. Who names their kid that? Probably somebody Swedish.
Imagine you get 9 whole months to come up with a name, and the best you can come up with is Nortrom. They should have called him Dave.
Think of the Swedish people. You've got Erling Holland, who named their kid Erling.
Who names their last name Holland? That's not even in Sweden. That's in the Netherlands.
That's not H-O-L-L. It's H-A-A-L-A-N-D.
Oh, that's in Sweden, so that's okay.
Yes, yes, it is in Sweden. But Erling still. What kind of parent are you?
Radiant team pick.
Good question, Erling.
Dire team pick.
I mean, I'll be fair enough to say that you kind of have the name of an 8th grade emo in real life, so there's that.
I do not. Thank you very much. Do you even know what my
You
first name
yes, I do. You've said it before.
is? What? Have
It
I?
starts with the letter D.
Remaining.
Nah. Got it wrong.
Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
Anyway.
All I'm saying is that if you were like a little bit older, you would have had a live journal growing up. All I'm saying.
I would not have, because I have never done journaling in text, and I have no interest in it. So my age should not matter in that interest of journalism.
Oh no, everybody was doing it back then. Oh my god. I'm not going to answer that question, Cryptic.
What? What was
Nothing.
Cryptic's?
I'm not going to answer it.
10 seconds.
You can repeat the question.
That's crazy. No, I can't. That's crazy.
Why can you not repeat this question? I can't.
I
see
can't. I'm not going to answer that.
it. You don't have to answer it. Just repeat the
Exactly.
question.
That's what I'm saying. I can't answer the reason that I can't read his question.
So type it out to me.
No. I can't do that either.
Why not?
I'm not going to tell you.
Do I have to go back and watch your stream after this?
Yes. Which I know you're not going to do, so I'm going to get away with this scot-free.
No, you're not.
Lots of picks coming out here. Interesting to see the X and then pick the draw into it. I think that's a very... Really, with the Juggernaut as well, I think that's like two matchups where it's very who shoots first. Like,
5 seconds.
Drow is definitely going to have to be in the advantage position in this game. Like, if the Axe ever starts a fight by calling the Drow Ranger, it's so over. It's just done. And, you know, with the Dazzle, even the Dazzle's not going to be able to save that because, you know, you have the Axe.
10 seconds remaining.
What's so funny?
That's funny. I came out into chat and read it, and then Cryptic sent me a picture of your chat, so...
Oh, fuck.
I was just like, you don't know, you're a terrible person.
But that confirms that my theory, right? Like...
No.
Listen, he got that just from 8th grade emo. That's all it took for him to get that.
It's not even spelled right.
Dire team back.
The Juggernaut, pretty much the same scenario as the Axe, so he doesn't have the Culling Blade. So he's gonna have to think about the Dazzle as well. But if the Juggernaut is able to get on top of the Drow Ranger, it is horrible for Drow. If the Drow is able to start fights by shooting at either the Axe or the Jug, or ideally both, and it is really bad for them. They're not going to be very happy with that situation, I can tell you that much. Ain't no
It's
way
another
you...
one
Seconds remaining.
It's another one of those, if Juggernaut spins a little too close to the Drow Ranger, he just dies.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to be
Although-
ready to Omni at any time.
Although they have changed that matchup. When this patch, where you could cast disables on people who were magic immune
Radiant team pick.
and have it last until afterwards, Juggernaut did not have a dispel at the end of his spin.
Oh,
So he would silence Jug in the middle of his spin and he would just die.
Trashboat's going to show Kitty how you play Pangolier. Well, my Dota client edges for a second there. Don't adjust your set. That was just
10
weird lag.
seconds remaining.
Lag indeed.
But yeah, the
5
Trashboat's
seconds
gonna
remaining.
teach Kitty how it's done by playing Pangolier and maybe having some impact on it. Again, it's good here for the same reason. Well, it's mostly good here for the same reason that it would hypothetically good in that series, just on the grounds of like being able to kite these guys like in front of Drow's face for her to be throwing the damage out. Downside is that it's a little tougher here because the Juggernaut can just really easily get rid of him. Like if you Omni Slash the funny ball, it dies every time. It means that you don't have the Omni Slash for the Drow, but when you have the Axe anyway, you don't necessarily need it. And it's also playing into Silencer, and that's kind of rough in itself.
Yeah.
Choose your hero.
I'm getting the Quap out here. Interesting to note, I don't think they had banned either the Zeus or the Necro in this game, right?
I don't believe so. I wasn't looking, but I don't believe so.
Yeah. I guess we can check that fairly easily and then jump to the game.
Dire team pick.
They banned the Necro.
Necro
The
was
Zeus was
banned.
available. I guess I'm a fair enough guy to
They banned-
understand. Oh, nice. Look at those animations break.
Choose your hero.
I understand why they banned out the... oh, I think that goes too far. I think that goes, like, after the starting gun. Whoops. I understand why they banned out... They didn't pick the Zeus there, though. That would have been, like, a really abominable Zeus game, but... It is interesting to see, in bracket here, avgpeen actually gets an opportunity in both games to go with one of his, like, real edge heroes. And he takes it in neither
Prepare for
time.
battle.
So...
The silence deepens.
Can't believe that happened. That's a legendary moment. I wish I could somehow clip chat there. It's a moment I wish I had it on stream. That's never gonna be forgotten. It's gonna be on YouTube, isn't it? There you go. It's gonna be on YouTube, and Cryptic has the image. So now we'll always have that forever in history. All the ways to die. I don't know why the game is running badly right now. High disk usage! Wonder what's doing that. Surely it's not another Windows update. Kind of an aggressive fronting here from the avgpeen team around these runes. Heartfound is going to go try his luck at bot and then think better of it, and then think worse of it, then think better, then worse. He can't decide. He doesn't know whether or not to be crazy. He's going to get hit by the bounty. Gonna walk right into these two. He's probably going to, yep, indeed going to spin. He's going to try and win the right-click contest. Nobody even competed. He just walked off the rune trying to go for first blood. That's very interesting. Everybody just walked off the bounty rune, and Jumpman, of all people, is the one who got it. And my game nearly exploded when Axe started TPing. But yeah, kind of an awkward. I mean, X can like technically call Pangolier out of the ult, but it's like really, it's not easy. You're usually just gonna get bonked in the face if you do that. This is kind of an awkward matchup for him, and this is gonna be a really bad lane if he doesn't have a P4.
Shaman's here now.
True. And he's a weird frog thing.
Oh, he's got the tongue.
Yeah, he's got the tongue of the fat man on the Amiga. Interestingly, they've kind of switched up the positions here. They sent Power top, and they have Jumpman here bot this time. It's going to be P3 Dazzle as well. Wilderman beats on the unconventional P3s this game. And they did elect to send the Silencer bot and their top and the Shaman bot, so they kind of have a lot of weird. I don't think I like this. I think I mean, the Axe and Silencer lane would have been a little bit food for the Drow. They'd have to play it very carefully, but I mean, why not do Juggernaut plus Shaman? I mean, that's a lot of easy kills in lane, right? Like, surely that's the better combo. I don't really like that. What do you think, President?
What? Jug Shaman?
Yeah. Instead of Jug Silencer.
But Axe Silencer is kind of a weak lane.
Yeah, but I mean, Axe Shaman isn't. Look at this. Is this any better? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know if it matters if you put.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, this lane is probably not going to be good in either case, so at least throw the Shaman top to get a bunch of free kills, as opposed to bot where nobody's going to get any kills. Except Drow, maybe.
Wait, who's laning up there? Is it the Dazzle Lion lane?
Yeah, Dazzle's the P3. Yes, he is. And also Power and Jumpman switched out. I think Discord might have been dead when I said that.
Maniac. That's not actually Maniac.
No. What? Maniac? Where'd that come from? I didn't say that.
No, I said Maniac. That's not actual Maniac.
No.
I was calling... Maniac.
Oh, buddy, it's very hard to... Discord's kind of dying right now. It's kind of having a heart attack.
It is kind of having some...
Yep. Shaman is going to hit all of his buttons on the Drow Ranger to try and get her to die before she kills the Axe, unsuccessfully. Drow is going to get that real easy. So, not the most auspicious start there, bot. Gonna pause the active stream replay there. Hope that helps a little bit. So yeah, this is like really bad for the Axe lane. Again, if the goal was to try and protect the Axe by having the Shaman here instead of top, well, mission failed because he was first blood and Drow is first place in last hits, and he has 4. He has the same amount of last hits as Silencer right now. That is, no, this is, they just should have written this lane off, I think. Just, you know, pull, stack and pull, do stacks in the triangle. Like, you're not going to win this, just accept it, you know what I mean? Very surprising they gave Grace Jam this Drow to begin with, honestly. It's one of her signature heroes. It's definitely one of the ones we've seen. Why was I looking at that thing? One of the ones we've seen the best performances on her from.
I might be insane, but I feel like the Silencer should be doing a whole lot more in this lane that requires them to cast spells.
One might think. Lion just vomits HP into the Dazzle here. I think it's part of the problem is that the Lion is just mana draining him constantly, and he's not really built anything to go for that. Just needs to get some kind of, probably just needs to get like more Clarity's Megas.
Yeah, saving up for those boots.
Yep.
Which I have recently been chastised for significantly by an 11k player.
How dare you save up for boots? You should buy them when you spawn.
You can even as a carry, he was like, if that courier gets to you and there is nothing but boots on that, I am going to beat your ass. And then the courier showed up, and guess what was on it? Nothing but boots.
And then your ass got beat.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, he lives in an entirely different country than I do.
Which one is that?
I don't fucking know.
What do you mean
Oh,
you
no.
don't know? He could be your neighbor then.
No, I know he does not live in the same country as I do.
What country is that?
Obviously America. I'm John F. Kennedy.
There we go, okay. I was just making sure, Mr. President. If you had said Canada, that would have been suspicious, and I think I would have had to call the FBI on you.
If we could stop revealing my personal information, that would be great.
No.
Dire's
Yes.
middle tower is under attack.
This is like a disaster class for the
It is
juggling up
incredibly
here.
rough for them.
At the very least, Quap is starting to build some momentum here. Mitch, he's going to TP down bot to respond to a go being made by the, oh my god, being made by the Pangolier. That Quap scream blew up my PC. Is going to get rid of the axe, is going to get rid of the Drow Ranger just barely, and the Pangolier does not actually have enough mana to get the job done here, so very good sequence of events there for avgpeen personally. Not his team so much, who kind of all died around him, but hey, I mean, that was just both mids clear the field. Like, everybody who was not a mid down here at bot just died. You know what, I'm going to briefly, I'm going to stop streaming.
Yeah.
You may want to just watch the Twitch. I don't think my, this stupid-ass disk usage thing, I think that's going to make the screen share really bad anyway. And kind of grief Discord.
Yeah. It was starting to get rough at the end of game 1, but game 2 is nigh unwatchable.
I had this funny feeling. That's okay, I think it should be fine on Twitch at the very least.
Although Twitch hates my computer. I don't know what it
Go
is.
ahead.
I can watch a Twitch stream fine for like 10 minutes, but after that it starts stuttering and then it gets legitimately unwatchable.
There you go, just simply download the Twitch app.
Onto my computer?
Yes.
No.
I like how you were like, don't reveal my personal information when I accused you of living in the second largest country in the world.
We're not the second largest country in the world. Population-wise, we're like 100th.
No, I mean geographically.
Yeah, but again, population is what matters.
Well, not necessarily, because while the population density does lend to logical likelihood, houses in the middle of fuck off in like the Yukon or whatever, right? There are indeed people who live in none of it, so you can't like immediately discount that as a possibility, you know.
I guess.
And I don't want to go walking around none of it to find your
Dire's
house.
middle tower is under attack.
I can tell you I don't live in fuck off none of it, but I'm not gonna tell
You might
anything
live
else.
in fuck in none of it. Oh, that is some big lag. Come on.
I don't live there either. Yeah, we're 37th. Yeah, Canada's 37th in the list of countries by population.
Very nice.
Surrounded by Afghanistan and Uzbekistan.
What is happening to my game right now? I hope this is showing up okay on the recording.
Compared to your Twitch stream, I can tell you it's not.
Well, I don't know how much the Twitch stream. That usually gets negatively. Come on. For God's sake.
So I could is reflective of the recording.
Yeah.
Find out.
Yeah, we'll find that out soon. Doesn't look like it is. My screen preview has been pretty stable. We're going to take out the lion here. That was much ado about nothing thus far. Many big flashy effects, little actually done. You're going to get the curse you out on the drow. That enough is going to scout her out to get the kill. The Pangolier is going to throw behind the lines to knock out the Quap in response. So it's a pretty big get for them at this point.
The Dazzle is going to throw himself into the middle of combat.
Yeah.
Quite literally. It's so funny. I've never seen the animation of Dazzle separating himself from his body, but it looks like Dazzle is literally just vomiting up his soul.
That's what's happening. Oh, Joy-Con drift there. That's what's happening. 1,722 gold changes hands into the Radiance
Canada has
pockets.
less people than Uganda.
Even Drow Ranger actually profited off of that, and even the Lion, despite dying pretty early in that nonsense.
And Sudan. And Tanzania. And Kenya. Less people than all of these.
Kenya!
Kenya. Less people than Egypt. There's a lot of people in Egypt. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's way more people in Egypt than you would probably expect off the top of your head.
105 million. Which is not the number I was expecting.
Yeah.
If you told me how many, if you said how many people lived in Egypt, I'd go maybe 30 million. 3 times that, Jesus.
Yep. Very heavily populated. It had like a population explosion during the Cold War in particular. It's not like it was particularly small before that, but yeah, it's pretty large now.
You know what? Population explosion during the Cold War? I know why. They were hiding nukes inside of people.
Exactly.
They created a bunch of people that are just nukes. Now they're sitting.
Yeah, they're just like, you just go to class and you see one of those nuke people's children. It's just like a little missile with a baseball cap.
Basically.
You see an Egyptian mother and they're like, you want to see my baby? They like show you, and it's like inside the little swaddled blankets there's just like a pile of uranium.
It's kind of funny how much higher the top 2 population or countries by population are compared to like the third, I guess. Because I think the top 2 each have more population than almost the next 8 combined.
Yeah, they have a lot over there.
Like the top 2 individually have more than almost the next 8 combined.
That'd be China and India for those of you keeping score at home.
Yeah, because it's 1.4 billion for each of them, and then the United States doesn't even reach 400 million at 340 million.
Mm-hmm. Bit of a split decision here. Quap going on the Dazzle, Juggernaut backing her. Pangolier coming in to kind of put the fight together as the rest of his team of the Mooses. They're going to lose Lion off sides from the DOT from the Silencer. Drow's going to poke her head into this nonsense. Everybody on the Dire is really clumped together. You have a global silence to try and buy them some time to split apart. But
there was a really good black hole opportunity there. I'll tell you
yeah.
that.
You have a buyback from Lion, who didn't really get here in time to do anything. But even with that being
said, was able to carry this fight.
Yeah, 1,387 gold changes hands into the Radiance pocket, 903 into the Dire's pocket, though I think with the Lion buyback, it's really actually probably a loss for the Radiant overall. He probably should have done that.
This Dazzle got a lot done that fight. Like, he just refused to die and dealt a lot of damage.
That he did, yeah. He's going to get his Ags up soon.
Drow's pulling out the Yasha soon.
And Quap is going to be pulling out the Dagon soon. Going Dagon 1 into a raw S&Y. That's interesting. And she has the Dagon, it's just on Courier right now. Well, somebody, I think it was Dusty, hates it when you keep upgrading the Dagon. Somebody loves it when you keep upgrading the Dagon. So shoutouts to whoever loves it, because they ain't getting their way today.
I am a big fan of just going max Dagon. Just because it's funny to see the big numbers go up.
Okay, stream looks pretty good now. That's excellent.
It is looking better.
Yeah, if you stay for the next series, I'll probably, Oh yeah, my disk usage just completely died. If you stay for the next series, I'll start screen sharing again. That'll be fun. Axe, almost unintentionally stalking the bounty hunter there in the jungle.
We shall see.
Kind of a, yeah, Trashboat wants in on this nonsense. Going to get the global silence on top of his head, and they're going to snap poor Lion's neck here. That's going to be a dieback for him as well, so he's going to be down for a minute. Trashboat's going to get pushed into a corner, but he's just going to go straight out. On the other side of the map, you have the Juggernaut. Wildeman, wake up! What the hell? Just let that Jug with no HP walk away, even though he was getting pinged and everything. That was really strange.
He was farming agents. Let that man
It's
farm.
true. But Drow versus Juggernaut, and you know who fired first here because the Juggernaut nearly died, and the Drow is A-okay.
I'm surprised the Jug didn't try to wait on the high ground with Healing Ward, because if he gets an Omni Slash off, actually wait, no, he does no damage right now. Never mind.
Yeah, he does no damage, and they had the Dazzle literally right there too, so that didn't help. He did finish his Aghanim Scepter at least. This man does not even have his Battle Fury at this point. This guy
I was gonna say, Jug is having a very rough game. Drow has Yasha Dragonlance, and this guy doesn't have Battle Fury yet. He's
He
not
is
even close.
really
either.
destitute,
He's
yeah.
Still 1,000 gold off.
They're going to try and make a play on the Drow here. They're definitely looking for her at the moment. They're going to curse poor Lion. Bounty Hunter's going to come in, throw some tracks out.
This Juggernaut
Trashboat
really
is invis.
just even farm.
Dazzle's coming in here.
This
Going
Jug
to
needs
throw the
find
soul.
a series of camps that is unobstructed and then just stay
Oh
there
my
forever.
god, Burkwop! Oh my god! Trashboat ended his ult to try and get rid of the Quap and just immediately got turned to a chicken by the Haywire Grillo there on the Shadow Shaman. Very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I think it was precasted before the roll actually ended. So.
Yep. Quap screams at the Dazzle and then dies immediately. Not what he wanted to happen. I don't think. Wait, what do you mean denied Wilderman beats? Oh, he was about to die of the Quap thing, I guess? That's kind of funny.
Yeah. You can deny it. You can also deny people the Dazzles thing.
1,771 gold changes hands to the Radiant, 468 on the Dire. They're probably not happy about losing that kill on the Dazzle, but what are you going to do?
Welcome, Grace Jam. We are more than glad to cast this game.
Oh, there's Grace Jam in chat now. How about that? And also, I see Lerno has put in chat. I see Warcarp idling in chat. If you're here in chat, don't worry. I know. Fiery X Joe going to walk up to the wave and get really bullied by the Dells. This is kind of ironic for an Axe if you think about it. Axe is going to call him. He's going to get pretty hammered here. He is not going to elect to Shallow Grave himself before his untimely death.
Not that it would be useful against an Axe.
That's true, yeah.
Axe is just death of the instant variety. Actually, well, I think he was silenced anyway, but Axe missed his Culling Blade, so...
Oh yeah, well I mean the global came up before he died, so whoops. These things happen.
Dazzle was silenced when he
No,
died.
I mean that he was silenced by the global last. That was the last thing that silenced him, and he had like a second or two to shallow himself before he died if he so wanted.
Well, maybe he was worried about the Culling Blade that was used fruitlessly.
Yeah, didn't see it happen. I mean, I didn't really see it happen myself, so.
Well, I get to see it 4 seconds after you see it, so...
That's true, yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, hey, you won't next game if it comes down to that.
Tethril, what is this? This is LD2L, not the finals, just games leading up to the finals.
Yep, this is quarterfinals. We are doing replay casts of the games that we missed live, which we covered on Sunday. It's every Sunday we do this.
Yeah, people ask him to do it, and I just happen to show up sometimes.
Yeah. So, while we were explaining that, a fight broke out and 2 people died, and I was looking at chat, so I didn't really see how. But, Axe and the Shadow Shaman go in, just, going to get a Pangolier ult here. Very awkward spot, he's just kind of bouncing on the wall. He is gunning for the Juggernaut, he doesn't really have the means anymore to resist him. He's dead. Okay, the Pangolier just runs over the Juggernaut here. He's gonna go down. But hey, finishes that Battle Fury. I think he had that for that fight, but still. 2,557 gold changes hands there, and that 4 for 0. straight into the Radiant's pocket. That Dazzle doing an actually obscene amount of damage there, 3,842, which is nearly as much damage as the entire Dire does combined in the light of that. They're going to try and do Tormentor now. This always goes really well. Especially when the Tormentor immediately TPs when you get there.
Radiant's middle tower
I'm glad
is
I got
under
to saw
attack.
the arrow fly across the entire map. It's a little scary. They're gonna be okay. Free, oh yeah, there comes the arrow. Somebody blinked to dodge the arrow that Drow had shot at the Tormentor that was still just flying across the map.
That's funny.
But free shard for old Jumpman, who is now going to be able to make his friends invisible. And invincibility is invisibility, or, you know, the other way around.
This bounty hunter is richer than the axe.
Yes, the axe is having a bad day. Trashboat's going to close in on the Quap here, going to stop that little bit of farming. So apparently Tethrall is going to be doing this next season, and says that 7k net worth at this point is... Well, he says it's a little bit more than tragic, but I like to refrain the use of that word on the show, even if I'm a little bad at it sometimes. Frost arrows coming out on the Drow Ranger, so that situation I was talking about at the top, that who fires first situation, is getting a lot deadlier for the axe and the jug here at this point. Like, if the Drow starts firing at the jug like this, if this happens to the jug, no, don't run away! Oh no, baby!
Is under attack.
Everyone started turning around, like, oh, the jug is dead before he was actually gone. But luckily the Pango had accounted for that. Oh no, poor Lion!
Dire's current.
And thus it was okay. I don't know if he actually got it. I guess we can see very quickly with the power of using the replay. Oh, this is a little too far back. What can you do?
Radiant's
We get to
bottom
see it one more
tower is under
time. Everyone goes, oh no, the jug lived! Okay, he has 2 Finger of Death kills right now, so it is going to count.
attack.
Good for
Dire's
power.
has been killed.
And rip to silence his courier. He died in the... Or no, his
Radiant's top
courier
tower
died,
is
not
under
needed.
attack.
Was just passing through that, I'm guessing, considering he just went through the Twin Gate. That would be a reasonable explanation, I think. Bounty Hunter stalking the Queen of Pain here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
She should know she's being looked at. She doesn't seem to care. She's probably right to do so for now. Drow's coming in. No, that's not Drow, that's the Pangolier. So, they don't actually have... Okay, they do have an opportunity to kill her if she just TPs the moment she blinks to, like, a very unobscured location. That wasn't very good. That's, I think, the unfortunate issue there of the average peen Quap, just not quite to the standards of the other average peen heroes, like the main ones. You want me to turn the screen share back on for you, Mr. President?
I can see it just fine for now.
Okay. Dazzle queuing up what I believe is likely a Bloodstone and a Shard. Oh no, it's Octagon
Dire's
Core,
top
never
tower
mind.
is under attack.
It's Octagon Core.
Can I complain a little bit about this stupid item? They really just bought it. They really just introduced this stupid thing into the game just to, like, get you good. Just to shake up random item builds that probably didn't need to be shaken.
That's also so expensive. 1,800 gold.
They added that. They added the stupid Ring of Tarask. I mean, that was a while ago. Now they're adding new little, like, balls. Like, why, bro?
Like my last game, I legitimately had to sell my liver just to buy the Tiara of Selenade.
That's okay. Those things grow back.
They do.
Bounty Hunter's stalking the axe here. He is none the wiser, it seems. Even though he sees the debuff on him, he does not care. He's not even going to call anybody before he dies. He's just going to scream out in agony as he explodes. At least he has his blink and his blade mail at this point. Small consolation. Going for a BKB, which is going to be here around June of next year. Does stop the Drow Frost Arrow, so there's that.
Invisibility. Right.
Bounty Hunter, once again, kind of in the thick of things here. Looking for some easy tracks. Jug is going to get gone here. Oh, the Quap was going to try and get rid of the Bounty Hunter there. You saw her winding up for the ult, but just got interrupted by the Lion Hex and then just stun chain. The Trashboat, trying to take the best advantage he can of this situation, is going in on the Jug. The Bounty Hunter actually steps in, trying to tank the Omni Slash. Doesn't quite get that. The Drow Ranger is not here in any capacity, so I don't think this fight is a winning one.
Bedazzle's real body is dying. And he used the grave that he could have saved his teammates with to save his own body.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I mean, not like it matters that much. That was just going to be a rout anyway. I think what they really learned from that fight is they can't fight without Drow. They need Drow there to do anything.
Although the Pango facet, the Thunderbolt, or whatever it's called, that makes the roll go really fast is one of the funniest looking facets I've ever seen.
Radiant's middle tower is
There you go.
Just moves around.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That one's for you, Ice Frog. Oh man, watching things just explode from the Drow multicast.
Drow eggs,
Yeah, from the Drow, like, not multicast, but yeah, multicast. That's what I meant,
Multi-shot.
multi-shot, but yeah.
It's the one.
That's
This
the
man
one.
does not play Drow. Drow, Grace Cam, could you do me a favor? Consume your clarity and swap in that broadsword. Or claymore, whatever it's called.
No, it's fine.
Just do it retroactively in the past.
Gonna find and destroy the axe just again. And amazingly, somehow, despite this axe having the worst game in the known universe, he has passed the Quap at this point, which is very small consolation. God, her Kaya has.
Sitting in your inventory for like 2 minutes now.
Well, you get a lot from its passive. Oh no, never mind. She drank it. You get a lot from the passive stat growth that Clarity gives you.
You only buy 4 at a time. I know. But you buy 4 at a time. I buy 2 at a time.
You know, Clarities, they have a very important passive effect. You know what it is?
Existence.
Guys who love to give unsolicited advice on the internet cannot tell you to stay hydrated if you have a Clarity in your inventory.
That's true.
And that's a very major buff, because those guys are a bit annoying. Chug has finished up his Manta by this point. Elsu's got the Ags, which I was flaming earlier, so interesting he got it this quick.
I still find Zug kind of weak right now. I don't know. He's not quite strong enough to just solo carry a game. Maybe if they win a fight somehow and he gets like a couple kills.
Maybe. I think it's just fundamentally a pretty bad Jug game. It's kind of the problem. Everything except for his matchup with the Pangolier is kind of sour for him. Like, he needs the element of surprise. Like I said at the top, you know, the Drow versus Jug and the Drow versus Axe matchups are built by the element of surprise, and thus far, they haven't really had the element of surprise a single time. Excuse me, they haven't had it a single time the whole game, it feels like.
Once he gets a Blink Dagger, his life will be a lot easier. Being able to blink Omni, blink Ags, I think is what he needs to start really turning this game around.
Unfortunately, he's not going to build either of those things because he's building S and Y with.
He's got a man
no time for that.
Back for S and Y, and then he's going into MKB. That's.
Hey, it's working out so far. In the course of the global silence, they kill. Okay, never mind. Cancel that working out thing. They kill both of the supports, and now Drow's just in this ward jail, just murdering people. Okay, no, never mind. The Omni Slash bounced to her, so it's over.
Yeah.
That looked like it was going to be this really tragic turnaround for a second, but no such luck for the Radiant.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Drow cannot quite 1v5 yet. I think that was just a bad position to 1v5. Drow might actually be able to 1v5. It's Clarity again.
Yep.
Mr. Clarity has reared his ugly head again. 35 damage.
Well, yeah, you don't want that.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Drow building up a Hurricane Pike just to make sure that never happens to her again. Lion queuing up an Ags.
It'll be so confused looking at the Clarity, they'll never think about what you're buying next. I see how it is.
True. Yeah, it's like a smoke screen for your inventory. The bounty hunter buying up the lotus orb here, not just to be able to purge silences. I think it doesn't really do anything else to scam.
I think it's being able to purge silences off of other people is the main proponent of buying that item.
Yeah.
It will reflect and prevent shaman from going on people.
Yeah, I guess that's also true. It will stop the shaman shackles. So there's also that.
And potentially, if he times it correctly, he could reflect an Omni Slash.
That would be funny, but that doesn't really work right.
It would be really funny is if all you could hear during the Omni Slash was once every 3 seconds.
They're going to bully poor Axe again.
That guy is mega dead.
He can't get a break. Poor Fiery X Joe.
I thought Pangaloo was gonna run into the Juggernaut and just get Omni Slashed.
He is. No, he's not. Jug's gonna do the camp! It's okay. The Quap is here to scream at the fight, and it looks horrible now. They're just going to get this Pango for free, courtesy of that plus the global silence. The bounty hunter is in an awful spot, and he's not even going to be able to use his invincibility powers because they have this weird deduced thing. Missing both their dazzle and their drought there, so it's a very ambitious idea to be positioning that aggressively. Going up here in this area with 3 when you're not really that far ahead.
Way too long there. And now Jug has an MKB, and his situation is looking quite a bit better.
Yeah.
He actually does a lot of damage now, is the main thing.
At least Drow doesn't have a, at least she doesn't have a butterfly.
But she saw it and changed off the item, so we're looking good. No longer just going for the butterfly that was queued up for a while there, but the MKB has come.
Shaman going for the eggs. Drow is going to multi-shot into the pit here. Is going to actually shave off about half of Shaman's HP, but she's fine with that for now. Has gotten herself the Manta style.
Manta style, eggs, Dragonlance.
Maybe Juggernaut is like, I am the Juggernaut. I do not need a Manta this game. I will disassemble for S and Y. And then
you can't disassemble a Manta, actually.
Oh, you can't?
Thank you very much.
No, that's very sad.
S and Y is disassemblable. Manta is not.
I am the Juggernaut. I did not think this through.
I am the Juggernaut. I fucked up. I think the Manta's still the better option. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If he gets like Blink, if he goes for the Blink Axe build, I think it's a better option. He's not going for the Blink Axe build.
No, he's not. It does feel like we're just kind of waiting for the fight where Grace Jam just gets to start it on the platform with a big multi-shot instead of starting it with losing like 2 of her teammates, you know?
Yeah, I think what Radiant here needs to do is just group together and push down a lane effectively. Because at the moment they're sort of like hesitating, they're sort of playing around the map. They're like, alright, should we do next? We lost the last 2 fights. You lost the last 2 fights because of bad positioning for the taking of the fights and or being outnumbered.
Oh no, power! Okay. Drow shreds the Tormentor, gets a free shard for the Dazzle. Jug is actually a nut bar, but everybody fell for the bluff, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of people can do anything about it. Jug spinning through their entire team.
It's true.
Jug showed up and went, gotta go. Just left. Jug's running after them alone.
Yeah. Very crazy play, and they didn't realize
it.
I
guess he has the Aegis. That's why everyone's like, we're not doing that. He still has the Aegis.
Sure, yeah.
It's not worth trying to fight him with their entire team.
They're going to kill his Aegis basically immediately. They're going to lose the... okay, no they're not. He's going to get a lot of his health back from the healing ward behind the lines here. Tango TP'd. What a Chad move.
Yeah, they fingered on the first life. And
they didn't kill him.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. At least they denied the tower on the retreat. But again, you know, it does feel like the fight that happens where Radiant gets to have good positioning, it feels like even now it's going to be hard for the dialogue. Look at that! Look at Jug just die. That was like 4 or 5 shots, and he exploded.
It was 4 attacks, yeah. 2 of them were procs from Drow's ult. Drow, is that high ground or the other one?
It's the other one. No, it's high ground. It's high ground. She did not get the other one.
So yeah, Drow does a lot of damage well on that statue from the shard. So.
Lion decided to change gears here, go for a Glimmer Cape. That's good, because I was going to mention earlier if he was still going for that. Not the biggest Ags fan here. I feel like these fights are they're too turbulent for an Ags right now. You really need to get something to help your team stay on the board, and since this guy is getting Lotus and the Spirit Vessel, it's either going to be like some kind of small ticket Aura or the Glimmer Cape, and I think that was the right call.
I feel like they don't quite have enough stuns on Radiant, despite having both Pangolier and a Lion.
Yeah.
They need like a little bit more lockdown. It's from something, whether that's
well, I mean,
like
the problem is that the Lion is just kind of eating it immediately. Most fights for the Radiant start out by Lion getting annihilated by the Quap.
I wouldn't hate it if somebody bought like an Atos this game, like the Dazzle or something.
It would not be hateable, yeah. Hey, you did just take top T2 for literally free, so there's that.
There you go. Dazzle's going Shadow Blade instead.
They're going to line up here at bot, trying to get rid of this Quap, and whoa, just barely not able to. No, they're able to get her. Trashboat tracking her very well in the middle of his ult, is able to just barely get those swashbuckles off, takes her out.
So fast.
That's a 1,300 gold swing. Really,
okay, no, we have the Bastion on Pangolier, and he's going Hex. He's realized that they are lacking lockdown.
Yep.
I like this coming out of Trashboat. He's just there to roll around, be a nuisance, stun, and Hex people. And I'm here for it.
Axe has his BKB. Building something with this helm.
Shiva's Guard.
Yeah, likely Shiva's.
Crimson Guard.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. He's got Crimson Guard.
He's already got the Vanguard, so yeah.
You got Crimson Guard, huh? Got bad news, my friend.
I don't know how much it helps.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
It'll help a little bit against the Drow.
A little bit, but a lot of her damage is going to be coming out of the hypothermia at this point, so that does not help that much. And also, she's got big ticket.
Does it say how much damage it actually blocks?
When he actively uses it, yes, but the hypothermia mechanic does not interact with the damage block. The Pangolier Qs do not interact with the damage block. And Dazzle isn't going to be right-clicking you anyway.
Dazzle's been right-clicking a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's been right-clicking a lot, but a lot of his damage comes from just nuking the hell out of people with the E.
Yeah, and the Q as well. That's a lot of damage.
So that's a 3,725 gold investment to.
Although Drow's damage does not come from hypothermia, it doesn't do actually that much. It is still 90% her right clicks. Because the hypothermia itself only does damage when a target dies. It prevents healing until then. By 10% per stack, up to 7.
Does 18 bonus damage per stack though, and that's just basically just going to roll right over the Crimson.
That's 18 bonus physical damage.
That's true, but the poor Crimson Guard is not percentile.
Is that added is that added to the attack, or is that added as a separate number from the attack?
I don't know, but it's bad either way.
Because if it's added to the attack, you get a reduced by Crimson Guard. If it's not, then it won't, obviously.
Whoops. Drow lost vision of uphill and walked up to it and died as a result. That, it happens sometimes.
Oh, and the global stopped the grave, yeah.
Yep. That was really unfortunate timing there. No two ways about it. If that had not happened, I don't think there's any shot Drow dies.
That's just unfortunate. It looked to be just outside the nighttime vision range of that pillar.
Oh, that's a cigar cooldown. I didn't click on it in time.
Yeah.
Hurricane Pike on the Silencer. Quap is trying to use this power play time very well, being very aggressive here. Going to have Swift Slash on top of the Bounty Hunter's head. who's going to just barely live thanks to timely use of the... Oh no, that's not good! Pangolier and Dazzle were able to just chain stun the Quab and just get rid of her there. That's not what you want to have happen in this power play. That's all they got for it too.
Quap not really having any defensive items beside a BKB is kind of causing her problems.
Yeah. Going for Yule's next. She's finished her SNK and has changed her mind and is going for Shiva's. And now Shard can't decide what she wants.
I would honestly like to see a Lincoln's. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go.
Just to prevent the Lion from just instigating her in fights.
Sorry, you've got to lie.
Damn.
So let's hear your lie.
I'm a lion.
You lying. Jug going for Nully. He was walking towards his double damage, and his prize for doing so is that he gets to watch Shadow Shaman die. Axe has jumped on the Drow, has actually gotten her in a really awful spot. She's going to use the Ogre seal, the stupid thing to bounce out of the trouble, and has just turned it around and just shredded everybody. Juggernaut is the last man alive, and yeah, that's an ultra for Drow. And that's kind of what I've been thinking this entire game. It's like, the time that Drow gets to actually just sit there and fire arrows at the Axe, the Juggernaut, at everybody, it's kind of over.
Is the time they lose a fight. Yeah, that was...
4 for nothing, 4.8k gold swing.
Legitimately all the damage that fight was just Drow.
Yeah.
That's like 10k out of a 12k fight coming from Drow.
They're not going to let Drow walk uphill again.
No, I mean, no, it's daytime. She actually has the vision. What's the enchantment on the neutral item?
What's the whoa?
The enchantment on the neutral
Oh, it's
item.
vampiric.
Ah, it's a good one. Really good, actually, this game. Surviving calls probably help.
Yeah, it is generally seen as helpful to avoid dying.
Yeah, but specifically in the midst of call. Just alone to an axe.
Drow, the really messed up thing is one other way that this is not good for them is that it's like, when the Axe and the Jug get the drop on the Drow, it's not necessarily that bad for the Radiant. They can kind of deal with the Snakes a little bit through the use of the Dazzle. Still, and the Snakes don't, they don't move. So they're going to be done with eventually, right? But when Drow wins a fight against you, she could just go kill 3 buildings and you have no recourse to that.
Yeah.
And that really sucks.
Imagine if that was Shadow Shaman's facet. Just the old Techie's facet, or Techie's talent, but on
the Snakes
Shadow
can
Shaman,
move.
The Snakes move at 100 movement speed. It would be the funniest shit I've ever
Be
seen.
even funnier with the giant snake.
Yeah, just a single gigantic snake slithering along the ground. Just a level 25 talent or something like that. The snakes have 200 movement speed. I would love to see that in the game.
The snakes have like 500 movement speed. They're just zooming along. They make like old engine noises.
Yeah. No, they turn it into the Venomancer thing where you can attach the snakes to somebody.
There you go. The fake Dazzle going in deep here is going to find the Quap. Global Silence is going to come out. Axe is going to try and jump onto the Drow's platform. This is going to actually get her here. So this fight looks really bad. She's going to buy back. That's ballsy. They do have the... she's not going to TP in. Does she even have TP? No, she doesn't. Not for 5 seconds. Oh, no, baby. That's really bad. But who cares if Pangolier is just going to kill everybody now?
Pangolier is just killing everyone.
He killed mostly
like
everybody.
He gained like a 2,000 health shield from that W, whatever it's called.
Well, that was really sad for poor Trow. Would not have bought back there if she had known she didn't have TP up. That's a 5,775 gold swing towards the Dire. And as usual, it does not actually show you the losses incurred from buying back, so it's really more than that.
It's about a 10k gold swing.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under
Because Drow's buyback at this point is probably around 3k. Maybe 2.5.
Yeah, about 2. And it's going to give Dire the ability to just go freely do Roche. Drow's going to scan out. And Roche is gonna roar at them. This is actually could be a little scary. It's going really slowly. Here comes the Drow Brigade. Yeah, the Radiant's kind of coming up faster than the Dire is, so they're having to play around this very carefully. If I was Drow, I'd at least just start multi-shotting into the pit, right? Like, without the axe, these guys don't have blink. Without the axe, you can't actually get her uphill.
I was gonna say, yeah, without the axe, they kind of can't kill the Drow.
And I don't think they recognized that or acted on it.
Unfortunately.
So Jug just gets to take the Aegis, go home. Yeah, very unfortunate.
Big nullifier next.
Big flame on Grace Jam in chat for that decision. Everybody start flaming Grace Jam right now.
And caution's probably better in this instance.
I don't see flame. I don't hear flame either.
Well, the Grace Jam said boo Grace Jam, so.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
So much damage.
That's Nully up on the Juggernaut.
It's nullifier, but he has to drop. He had to drop his Battle Fury for it though, so I don't know.
No, he didn't. He put Battle Fury in the backpack to make room for Aegis.
That's what I meant by drop. Oh, he is still going for the S and Y. He's got another Yasha. Cloudiest shit I've ever seen.
Don't do this, hurt sound.
That's just funny. I'm not trying to be toxic. It's just funny to me. This guy went Manta style? No. Both.
I am the Juggernaut. I want both.
This Juggernaut is just a sword collector. Although Manta style is kind of an axe.
Yeah.
It's a hand sword.
It's like a polearm.
But no, when you see them on Anti-Mage, that's what they are. They're sort of his hand.
That's true, but the ones on Anti-Mage don't really look like the one on the... They look like he ripped off the pole from the item.
It's like an axe.
You're like an axe.
It is specifically said an axe made.
You're a big red guy who calls people.
Look at the description of the item. It says an axe made of reflective materials.
Oh, there you go.
An axe.
I'm gonna say the description is wrong because it's stupid, though.
Oh yeah, the people who made the game don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Yeah, that is true. Do you remember when they called... Where is that fucking thing? You remember when they called this an ogre club for, like, a decade? It is true they don't know what they're talking about.
Because it was originally an ogre club.
That's true.
In Warcraft. And they just never changed the name, but they changed the board.
Yeah, they changed a whole bunch of Dota 1 names, but not that one for some reason. For years. They're gonna catch and destroy the bounty hunter.
Are you gonna get mad at the Iron Branch for not actually being made out of iron?
Yes!
Don't.
Too late! I'm already mad! Why didn't they... When they saw everybody in the world hitting the bounty hunter there, honestly, the Drow should have just run up to this tower at like Mach 10 and killed it.
It's dangerous. Chug is hex. Angler no longer going for the hex. Unfortunate. Going for the Shivas. Bad.
Dazzle has finished his Shadow Blade, has finished his Octagon Core.
I'm just gonna find it funny in the next fight when Drow walks up to the Jug and literally 3-shots him.
True. Lion did manage to finish that Axe, so there is that.
There that is.
Axe is gone for a halberd now. And Drow doesn't really have that great of a response to it. She's not going for BKB. She will have Satanic soon, and that will help deal with it.
Does he realize that the passive on that does not stack with Crimson Guard? He has 2 Vanguard items.
I mean, you're not going to buy the halberd for that, though. At least, probably not.
True, but if you're going to buy a halberd, why are you buying a Crimson Guard?
Top tower is under attack.
Actually, don't they stack? I mean, wasn't that why they took the stupid stout shield out of the game? Because you could just buy 2 or whatever?
Damage block sources do not stack. They will proc independently of each other, which is why you buy 2 stout shields. But they do not stack.
Okay, there we go. I have forgotten that.
It's
been so long since that's even been a thing you could feasibly do.
Yeah, I think Stout Shield used to proc independently of each other, which is why people bought it. But Vanguard has never. It has never worked with any other Vanguard item. So he
I
gets damage
remember
off
back when
of
Vanguard
one
was
of
like a joke item, where it was like the crappy item nobody ever bought because it was just never like.
those numbers on it were so terribly bad.
Yeah, there's just no reason to ever get it instead of just either getting poor man's or just selling your stupid thing off. Like, it was like the joke. It's like,
Because it
buy
wasn't
Vanguard
enough
on
of an
every hero.
upgrade over Poor Man's Shield.
Oh no, it was arguably a downgrade. Everyone
No, but I
always,
mean-
everyone had those theories for years on like how do you balance Vanguard to not be god awful, and they finally did that by making an upgraded version of it for Year Beast.
Removed Poor Man's Shield. That's how
That's
they.
true. That's also it. Like
That's
I
how
remember.
they balanced the Vanguard. They
I-
removed Poor Man's Shield.
I remember when people were like, "Oh, give it the ability to like throw the Vanguard to your teammate temporarily," which is kind of what the Pavis turned into.
Yeah.
Because Crimson Guard, not Crimson Guard, Crimson Guard does that for the whole team. Whereas Vanguard is just like, yeah, just superpower one guy for a minute.
Which I guess was sort of like Hood versus Pipe until they fucking changed that one.
Shadow Shaman almost died of the Tormentor there.
He
Again-
went down to his thing. Honestly,
Yeah.
that might be a big thing for the next fight. He won't have it for another 2 minutes. If they take another fight within that time.
That is true. Though Axe getting Axe getting caught here is going to be equally bad. Axe is not Axe. Goodbye, Axe.
If Axe dies, then they can just walk high ground safely.
Well,
There's
Axe does
nothing-
have buy.
Yeah, but once he buys back, they can just walk away. There's
Yep.
nothing to really scare this drow right now. Especially if Dazzle shallow graves the drow.
Dire's top tower is under
Drow's
attack.
going to stand on her little mountain and kill the T3, and then, as predicted, when Axe buys back, everyone just walks away. Drow Satanic pretty close to done. She could definitely buy out for it, but she's saving for buyback with it. It was very close. They just got half of Jug's HP here. That's kind of awkward. Axe is bought back. Oh no, a random Dazzle right click just caught him and canceled his blinks. He called nothing. So that was BKB wasting. I think that might have been the 7 as well.
It's unfortunate.
So now Axe doesn't have that.
What does Dazzle have as his items? Does he have any sort of purge for this global?
No, but he has BKB, I guess, but he has Swift Blink, or Smart Blink rather.
Smart blink. I don't know. I would like
Or
to
an
see
eviction
some
blink.
sort of purge for global, some instant purge, just so that if they global and go on the drought, Dazzle can save the drought.
Well,
Because I
there
think
is
that
the
was
global
like the-
silence. It's like a really unfortunately timed one though. Drow is just going to. Okay, the Quappled. Okay, I was gonna say the Quappled completely whiffs the Drow, but no, she does get hit by the very edge of it. Silence comes out. The Juggernaut's running at her though, so she has to just walk away. Jug ults into the creeps. It doesn't do anything. Jug ults in the creeps. He no longer has any like AOE damage, so it's just awkward. He's gonna
just
spin.
walk-
And he's not gonna win.
I just watched the drow hit the Quap once and it did 1200 damage.
Quap by, Jug by, Silencer hasn't bought, I don't think.
Axe is dead though, so like drow is still
Yeah.
quite safe. And I think
Pango
she has
buys
the-
back just to put the game away. They do not
think
want
they
to
have a-
waste any more time. The Drow Satanic coming in.
I was about to say the Satanic should be shipping in and it just arrived.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
She has a big stupid Lotus too.
Dire's
Just eat that and yep, instantly put it in. And now she's back up to like mostly full HP. Dire's Ancient is under attack by random creeps. I don't think the Trashboat team notices that because they do not capitalize on the split. Look at how much gold swing there. And again, not counting the buybacks. These do not count those.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Megas. That's Chug, Swift Slash. Everybody gets very cautious of that, but I think that could have been really bad for old Jug there.
I think so. If Drow just turned and slapped his ass, he was dead.
Yeah, they're playing this very, very, I think maybe overly cautiously on the Trashboat team. The good news is this time that the enemy team was just way too far down and really had no opportunity to turn it around regardless. This is just not a team that's going to come back from this. Too many buildings were destroyed before they started playing like this, but there is definitely an element of like against like a semi-finalist or finalist team, right? Against what is likely going to be Jasso next week, depending on who wins the Chong game. You're definitely going to have to take strong advantage of situations like that. Quap screams at nothing, then dies. Axe gets the call, but too many people are now dead. Shroud just hits the Satanic and just kills him. Oh wait, no she doesn't, she's disarmed. Drow hits the Satanic, waits a minute, and then kills him. Jugs died back. Haywire Gorilla is died back. Only Silencer survives. Haywire Gorilla says, "Oh no," as he watches his second LD2L season come to an end. Which is good, because I had thought about that game 1 made me really worried, but nope. As it turns out, Trashboat said GG, so he loses. Go on to game 3. As it turns out, nope. 2-0 for
Yeah, I guess
Team
this is one of those
Trashboat.
games that somebody actually has to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So-
a little sad I couldn't change your stream title.
What?
I was gonna change your stream title to featuring John F. Kennedy, but
You don't have that permission, I don't think.
don't have the power to do that. No.
There you go.
I'm just gonna
So, yeah.
sneak it in there.
That's the end of the line there for the Average Peen team. The Trashboat team, I think maybe the pressure got to them a little bit, was playing it very conservatively, but I guess it's better to play it very conservatively than play it very rashly. They definitely need to identify, especially it seemed like when they couldn't physically see, even sometimes when they could, but when they couldn't physically see their opponents, it felt like they had a bad time kind of picturing where they were. Like when they had 5 people on the bounty a bot, just squash him like a bug, and they didn't really, like nobody who was elsewhere really took advantage of that time, for example. When they had the split off to defend the Ancient, nobody really took advantage of that. Like, earlier on in the game, you saw a few situations with that as well, where, you would have people who would kind of show on a wave for a moment and then disappear, and everybody would kind of get it in their head, they must be on me anyway, somehow. They all have BOTs, but it does feel a little bit like, it is a risk to do this, and you have to be smart about any risk you take, but it did seem like they were maybe overly cautious about this game, and against a lineup with more ability to turn it around, both literally in terms of their hero picks and in terms of the team itself, that can come back to bite you. You can definitely have those moments where you lose that opportunity to win the game, and then it's just over, Still, I do think this was pretty much just outside of that, and that's mostly like a strategic level issue. I do think they kind of realized and played into what they needed to do here. Pangolier was just a big distracting man with a bunch of stuns and annoying items. He did get that hex in the end, as it turned out, just to make you happy.
He heard me.
Pangolier was just, kiting, just being a nuisance in front of the line. The Dazzle was just, blowing people up with his Z, just being a nuisance with his, kit. Didn't really, you were talking about dealing with the global silence, but didn't really feel like, for the most part, like it felt like
There was like 1 or 2 fights where it came into play, but
yeah,
it
for the
didn't really
most
end up
part, it
being
wasn't.
an
It was
issue,
okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The bounty hunter was just kind of constantly. I was talking about how the Juggernaut and the Axe always kind of needed the element of surprise for them to have a real place to go in this game, and they didn't ever have that. And a lot of that was thanks to the bounty hunter. They were good at catching they were good at catching the bounty hunter when they knew he was there, but they weren't good at keeping track of where he was. It did feel like I saw a lot of times people get tracked and not realize it or just ignore it.
Yeah.
The lion was just pointing at people and stunning people. The lion's a very simple hero. You got what you asked for there. So
The lion
yeah.
was looking for the witch and the wardrobe.
Individual execution good. The team as a whole, the strategy looked a bit rough at times, but not enough to sink the game, especially in the light of the outplay. And yeah, I guess that's the ball game for the Average Peen team, the team that I feel like both of us probably have seen the least this season. So
Yeah. Who asked for this game, by the way?
Nobody. I'm doing all the bracket games.
Ah,
Just straight doing them all.
what a terrible person you are.
Sorry. Just want to keep track of just how everything goes in the bracket. And I make that a yearly tradition. Usually Randy also does all the bracket games, but this year he was like, no. So,
No.
there you
Nerd.
go. It is now time to do the postseason rundown for the average peen team, just to make absolute sure we don't get to Chone versus Jasu tonight. So, I'll let you pick the order. Who's going first?
For what? The team?
I guess before I go on the individuals, I'll talk about the team as a unit. This was another positioning nightmare team, I think. The Hertz Sound did put a lot of time on the field, put a lot of time on the an effort onto the field, trying to turn around and trying to become a real carry player. I think Joe, to at least a lesser degree, did the same, trying to become a 3 player here. But I think overall, this is a good example of how sometimes I think people can get in their heads about what the right team looks like MMR-wise, right? I think this is a case where it's like you had a solid pause 1 player and you could have run in pause 1. I don't really think that there would have been much of a difference between Hurt Sound pause 1 versus Fiery X Chill pause 1. But if you did that, you could have put Luke's on 3, who is a much better 3 than Fiery X Chill, and you could have had Hurt Sound on the support line, which is where he really shines, right? Now maybe this was people trying to lean into the learn Dota 2 part of the LD2L. Maybe this was a knowing situation and they knew, well, these aren't our main roles. We want to get, sharper better on these, right? There is a possibility of that. But I do think it is just as likely they just said, okay, our highest MMR player should be our pause 1. Our second high, so on and so forth, right? I think that's kind of how it went, and I think this team did kind of show, unfortunately for them, in the long run, what the downsides of that strategy were. Fiery X Joe was floundering on that P3. I assume he had played it at some point in the past and had not done it in a long time, because you saw, this was a guy who was still trying to buy the, Blink Manta Abaddon, you know what I mean? You know, he was playing Pause 3 from many years ago and trying to make it work, basically. And it did not. He felt very behind the times. It did not really feel like he ever had, outside of maybe a cool call all the way back in week 1, it never felt like he really had a starring role in these games. Even just on the Axe, look at this Axe game. This isn't that bad of an Axe game. Certainly not 614 type Axe game, but that's just kind of how it turned out. He's just off roll. It's not really his fault. He's just in the wrong spot, right? I feel like if they had gone into everybody's strengths, if you had Fire X Show P1, if you had Average Peen Pause 2, if you had Luke's 3, if you had Hurt Sound 4, and I guess Gorilla specifically didn't want to play 5, so you could do Gorilla 4, Hurt Sound 5, or you could talk him into 5, I guess. But either way, I think you could definitely set up a situation, or have Gorilla do 3 and have Luke's and Hurt Sound on support. But either way, I do think this is a situation where trying to be too conscious about their MMRs put them into a position where they had a worth-looking version of their team. They were not playing into their strengths, and it kind of kept them from big success. I mean, after all, let's not forget this team, the Chon team. The original lineup Chon team with no stand-ins had to throw for these guys to win, right? Like, they didn't even cleanly beat those guys. It felt rough. It was a rough season for them. What can you do? Okay, so now give me a name. One of these 5 guys.
Haywire Gorilla.
Haywire Gorilla. Some good, some bad. It's something that I feel like I'm kind of asking a lot of people this season. Haywire Gorilla, where are your main heroes at? We're looking at some nice B and C line type heroes, but in particular, this was a pretty solid meta for the Venomancer, and I think he picked it once the whole time, right? That's his main hero. I think that's his overall most played is that Venomancer, and we didn't really see that much of it. It wasn't even contested particularly often. It felt like he was kind of running away from what makes him work as a player. if he wants to be these big team fights, which I assume he does, because he was wanting to play 3. You know, when he was playing the Shadow Shaman, his wards were a lot better than the rest of his support play, which I think is usually an indicator of like a 3-player trying to play support, right? Because that's like a big team fight skill that you would have a lot of analogs with, and I think that's where his strengths lie. But like this isn't really the guy for that, right? It did feel like they were picking a lot of like 1v1 guys. I mean, this guy would have been perfect when Jakiro got like busted to start running on him, right? Didn't really see that. Find your strengths and lean into them. Same as the team, really, but on a more personal basis. Find the strengths, lean into them, because being a generic milk toast pause 4 player who plays the generic pause 4 as everyone does works up to a point, but not forever. Who's next?
Average Bean. Go as a
Average
captain
Bean.
next.
It's the same story as always, Average Bean. I said it in the content. I DM'd it to you during the season, and I'll say it now. It's the pool. Um, two heroes is still, for the most part, where you're at, and it's still just not enough. It is too easy to just sideline you through bans, even now. It's like I said. Um, we saw some good use on the Monkey King in the last season. We didn't see that make a return this time, I think for good reason and fairness, but we saw some good use of like the Monkey King in the last season. We didn't really see him again this time. And I think just getting down and dirty with like the Viper, who we saw some pretty decent results on. The DK didn't really seem to be your thing, but I mean, I guess you like hypothetically could, get a groundwork there, right? Um, you need a beeline because as you've seen this season, people are going to start sitting on you. They're going to start putting you into positions where you're either your very comfort heroes are banned out or they're just like unpickably bad. Like you were obviously not going to be able to run the Zeus in this game. That'd be suicide, right? Like so you ended up on the Quap and yeah, you had some good plays on the Quap. Yeah, it was like solid, but it was not average peen like comfort hero solid. It was very clearly like below the standard. You had some of those moments where you just kind of blinked into danger, where you forgot to blink. You had those moments where you like shouted the wrong way, nothing happened, right? You had the signs of a little bit of cruft. So you are still dropping something here. And I think trying to get more of a pool, working on that pool, expanding it, trying to get at least 2 or 3 more heroes will do you a lot of good in these league games. That's what I think. Who's next?
Heart sound.
Hurt Sound. It was a good effort. You put a lot of effort into being a P1 here, but I just don't think it's your thing. Um, it was very clear, like Maniac. I kind of said the same thing about him this season. It did feel like you were doing a lot of meta chasing in this season. In particular, it felt like you were leaning on that Bloodseeker during that time where the Bloodseeker was really strong, and it felt like when you weren't on a meta hero, you definitely could tell that you did feel a little bit out of place. Thought average peen puck was good. Um, I'll be fair enough to say I haven't really seen it in practice, but it did statistically not look all that great. I definitely think more work could be put into the puck as well to make it better. I forget who you are, Lerno. Maybe that's La or something. I don't know. Sorry, Lerno. Anyway, yeah, the average peen puck. The statistics. There was like a time I was drafting for a team, and I saw the average peen puck, and I was like, "Let him get it." It is not as good as the comfort heroes. It is not close. So that's where that's at, I think. So yeah, work on the pool. Go from there. Who did you say next? Hurt Sound, right? Yeah, you could definitely tell Hurt Sound was like out of his comfort zone here. He's mostly a support player. Like he has games on one. He actually got some of his ones to a pretty good number on his record this season. There's just like 1 or 2 he's at least had in his back pocket up until then, but he's not a one player. He's very out of practice. You can tell early in the season he was kind of struggling, for example, on like actual timings for last hits. You could tell early on in the season. Um, there were some rough parts, right? rough around the edges. I don't know if you're going to make your life a pause one. I'd like to see you support, honestly. I'd like to see what you're good at before I make that call. You're not untenable, you're not unusable, but you can tell in the positioning, you can tell something's off. You're right. You can always tell the it factor is in everyone, and you can kind of tell when somebody's going at it and doesn't really have it. Uh, and this guy, he sadly he doesn't really have it. He's not bad. With a lot of work, he could be a very good P1 player, but he's always going to be chasing his own medal doing that. It feels like to me, and I don't know if that's that great of a position. And that leaves Luke's. That leaves Shepard's Tone. Like I said during pick phase, one of your best friends in the whole world. Um, Yeah, I don't know. It felt like a little bit again a very inconsistent season out of Luke's. You would have some games where it felt like he was ruling the whole world. You would have some games where it felt like he was having no impact at all. It feels like he has a very volatile situation where he depends a lot on like what his cores are doing. For example, like if his cores are doing awesome, he's doing awesome. If his cores are doing bad, it feels like he kind of struggles to pick up the pieces of that a little bit. And you can kind of see that the whole team has a bit of a problem with it because I think it's been kind of a general trend for the average peen team that when they lose the initiative, they lose the game subsequently, right? It's been kind of an issue for them, which I mean, in fairness, this is a snowbally patch. That's hard anyway, but it definitely does feel like I don't know uh, what the solution to that issue is. Maybe perhaps it's going to be in pool a little bit, being more heroes. Because like the silencer, for example, yeah, you got the global, but the silencer is like a spot on the road in this game. If he doesn't like kind of own, it doesn't feel like he has great impact. You see, he has a really nice looking KDA. He is 8, 4, and 20. He's very good at preserving his own life, but also look at how much things fell apart around him. There were a couple of global silencers that were really good, and a whole bunch of them that didn't do anything, and a couple that came out late. Um, and you know, the ones that didn't do anything, it's not like even they were like timed badly. It's just it just wrong hero, wrong place, wrong time. I don't know. I think when you're I think maybe this is a bit of the problem I always kind of associate with Pages, where it's like, you know, Hurt Sound is not really a big time P1 player, and, you know, there's like some chemistry issues with that compared to, huh? Did you get time to watch the stream? Sorry, guys, Stanley, we're wrapping up the Trashboat series now. So we're
Yeah.
still going to be doing the Cryptic and Gotham series, but that's going to be next. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of hard to parse. I'll say I didn't really go that in depth on that for a good reason. I just didn't see enough of this team, but that's kind of what I did see is a bit of inconsistency and a bit of tough time turning things around. So that's that. That's the end of the road for the average peen team. Shep's clown car broken down. So, uh, Trashboat going to semis with whoever won the Jasso and Sean game. I know who my money's on. And we'll be seeing that this Sunday as our other live game this week. And anything to add to all that nonsense, Mr. President?
Oh,
If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to LD2L.gg today to sign up. It's too late to get into this season, but it's not too late to wait for the postseason fun that's happening with the in-houses. It's not too late to get into queues, which are popping everywhere you look, and it's not too late to get into next season, which, you know, who knows when that's going to be. Uh, it could be like 3 months from now. It could be like a year from now. You never know with LD2L. It's crazy like that. In-houses after the season ends. So,
typically, they'll always get a lot busier after the season ends.
yep. Go to ld2l.gg, follow the link to the Discord server. That's where all the action happens. Um, and
Allegedly, indeed.
yeah, it is inconsistent sometimes, but for the most part, if people are reliably trying to start in-houses, they do happen.
If
The
US
in-houses,
Danny and/or Matt is around and they feel like doing an in-house, there will most likely be an in-house round.
yeah.
They will add every person in the server individually.
Oh, did you see Matt and Coppless have a massive fight in the League Cat earlier today? That was fun.
No, I
Anyway,
didn't.
it was awesome. They were
What were
going
they
at it for
fighting?
literally hours.
What
Great
were
for
they
a
fighting
finalist
over?
team. But
What were they fighting over?
nothing really. It's just Copless is like, "Oh, Matt, you're the most toxic player in the world," and Matt's like, "Bro, you're like an Archon player. You're like starting shit," and like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that was a whole spiel. We will see you, well, right now if you're live on the stream for the Cryptic and Gotham series.